Good evening. For a second night, there have been riots and looting across the Midlands. Gangs of youths have been attacking shops and setting fire to cars in Birmingham, Wolverhampton and West Bromwich. And there have been reports that the violence has spread to Leicester, with officers dealing with groups of youths in the city. We're also hearing in Nottingham a police station has been firebombed by a group of 30 or 40 rioters. We can go live now to our correspondent Becky Johnson, who's in Birmingham. Becky, what's been happening there tonight?
Well, the city centre's been sealed off for several hours now. Most roads are closed, most businesses shut early, and the police do seem to have been more prepared tonight. There are certainly more officers on the streets, but it hasn't stopped the rioters moving around in small groups, causing extensive damage to most of the outskirts of the city centres, as Charlotte Grant reports.
For a second night, there was terror on the streets of Birmingham. Just the sound of burning petrol and sirens. Once again, the police seem to be playing catch-up with the looters. This newsagent's in the jewellery quarter was smashed and ransacked, leaving its owner devastated. How did he feel when he saw all the damage?
It's like a heart attack to you, you know. It's like your baby and you're building it up. And end of the day, these people, they don't want us to survive, you know. It's a fun for them, but it's somebody's livelihood.
The damage to property and cars seemed pointless. Any group of youths hanging about on street corners appeared threatening, and the police weren't taking any chances. There was no pattern to the destruction, any shop a target. It's very much a standoff tonight. We've just seen a group of youths come up through the Birmingham fruit market, and that shop is now being smashed to pieces. The police here are on standby, waiting for more trouble. With this evening once again about opportunism, the night is far from over. Charlotte Grant, for Central Tonight.
Becky, you were out covering the riots last night. Does it feel any different tonight?
Well, the police are telling us that there are fewer rioters out tonight, and it certainly feels that way, but the atmosphere is still extremely tense. As we were driving here to police headquarters this evening, some youths smashed a bottle onto the roof of our van, which was an unmarked van, so a completely indiscriminate attack. So clearly the rioters are just going around causing destruction as and where they can. Now, earlier, West Midlands Police gave us this update on the situation.
Well, our perception, and I'm pretty sure this is right, is that it is on a slightly smaller scale than we experienced yesterday, recognising, as I say, it is early days. The reason that people are perhaps seeing more of the city centre and the other town centres across the Midlands closed is that because we are controlling this in a much more sustained manner than we were able to yesterday. It started very quickly yesterday. We've had a bit more planning time today, and we're making the best use of that.
Well, since the violence began in Birmingham yesterday, 142 people have been arrested, but this is still a very much an ongoing situation. You can follow our updates on Twitter throughout the night.
Becky, thank you very much. Meanwhile, in West Bromwich, police in riot gear sealed off the town centre earlier this evening after a gang of people set fire to cars and pelted officers with bricks. Tensions remained high with a standoff between youths and rows of riot police. Our reporter Lee Comley was there.
The smouldering remains of a van and a 4x4. Late this afternoon, a group broke in and pushed them down a hill. Then they set them on fire. As police responded, the group took bricks from a nearby wall and started to throw them at officers.
Masked, hooded, rolled the stuff out, throw it, and they smashed the wall down the house up there and was throwing bricks over the vans at the police that were standing behind you. Oh, I was trapped between the front police line and the back police line, so I couldn't move.
Then, as more police in riot gear arrived, a strange calm.
So it's 7:15 here on High Street in the centre of West Brom. Police have sealed off both sides of the street. Down that end, the burnt-out remains of a van and a 4x4. But down here, several large gangs of youths squaring up to police in riot gear. As we watched, the group taunted police. One officer told me they were less concerned about ones they could see and more so about gangs in the back streets. Too difficult to pin down and control.
There was also trouble in Wolverhampton with several shops attacked. 20 arrests there so far. As the burnt-out remains were towed away, still fear from those in the area that this isn't the end. Lee Comley in West Bromwich for Central Tonight.
Well, the Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg was in Birmingham earlier today to take a look at the destruction caused by last night's rioting. He spoke to people on the streets but was swiftly led to his car by police amid booing and heckling from a crowd of youths. His visit came on the day Prime Minister David Cameron announced he was recalling Parliament to debate the crisis. Meanwhile, local community advisors say the government need to do more to help families and support communities.
Many families have sort of lost interest in bringing their own children simply because of the sort of liberal policies that are out there. They've disempowered the family, they've given far too much power to the children, and now to try and put the genie back into the bottle is going to be a very difficult job. But what we are urging, families, mothers, fathers, feel empowered. You have got support that's coming down the line. The police are taking firm action. We're talking to the politicians, make policies that help the family take control of their children. And I think if we can start that journey, it will lead us to a better place than where we are now.
Derek Campbell speaking to us earlier. Now let's get the weather from Lucy.